Good evening. This Is Now, Bridge to a Better World, and I'm Teresa Mitchell. And Ani is still out of the country tending to relatives, and I don't have an update for that right now. But there's a lot of sneaky stuff going on in the country uh, tonight and this weekend. And I thought it would be best to give you a short update. But first, a frame. In the year 41 AD, the Praetorian Guard was said to be pushed to their limits by the emperor. This was hard to do because they were more than well paid. They were the only soldiers allowed to enter the city center while bearing arms. That's how loyal they were. We've become accustomed to the superiority of firearms in our day, but in AD 41, the sight of a Praetorian Guard with his razor sharp dagger or spear was enough to strike fear into anyone except the emperor. But the new emperor, I say new, he had been there about 4 years, had been so devoted to endless orgies and humiliating whims that the relationship between emperor and guard became more than strained. Maybe it was trying to make his horse a senator or demanding that the army punish the ocean. Maybe he was just unbearable, but in 41, those razor-sharp daggers sliced him up. So in the millennia since, executives who know their history know not to mess with the powerful elite police forces. Apparently Trump and Ellen haven't gotten the memo. Do not fuck with the Praetorian Guard, because the $50 billion a year pipeline to the Pentagon logistics suppliers, USAID, has been brutally shut down, invaded, its employees run off, and its website permanently shut down. Go ahead, try to pull up USAID. This, of course, is going to piss off the Pentagon. Meanwhile, something like a quarter of all major FBI operatives are receiving nasty notices to snitch on themselves and each other about their completely legal and above-board investigation of the January 6th insurrectionists and the Mar-a-Lago papers scandal. If anyone is the Praetorian Guard, then I would say it is the Beltway cops and the spooks like Homeland Insecurity, CIA, the NSA, and or the FBI. So something very interesting happened today. The FBI told Trump to fuck off. More specifically, Acting Director Driscoll said no, he is not going to provide information on which FBI employees were involved in investigating January 6th and the Mar-a-Lago Putin spy papers pipeline. Furthermore, FBI agents are meeting en masse in New York to discuss their options. That would worry me. I think if the FBI were meeting en masse about me, I would be sweating. Anyway, mass firings by Musk's Department of Government Larceny, known as DOGE, are not legal. There are procedures for firings which involve Congress and or agency hearings. It's part of rule of law. So the FBI agents are within their rights. The hippie in my head just flipped over the couch at that phrase. They're within their rights to resist the firings. Now, it seems to me that the FBI might be getting all Luigi about this. So if I were named Claudius, I might be hiding behind a curtain. But in fact, I'm an old trans gal named Teresa, and I noticed that the war on trans women is marching forward, not just with the executive order effectively making us illegal, but with a deliberately boosted false accusation that went viral to the rank of number 2 on Shitter yesterday. It was the assertion that the helicopter pilot in the airline crash, the explosion that you've seen on the news, was named Joe Ellis, which, as the New York Times headline says, was falsely identified as the captain of the crashed military helicopter in thousands of social media posts. The mega boosted claim was that she did it out of suicidal trans woman revenge. And she has, of course, received gravy boats of threats, but the more lasting impact is the idea that trans women are so crazy and homicidal that they will, well, fill in the blank. There's been a number of these. It was a trans woman viral lies that have gone out, and the intent was always pretty clear to make it look like people like me are really, really bad. So trans women are effectively illegal in the United States now due to the executive order. Read it if you dare. It's easy to find. Put into search engines executive order trans women or transgender. It's about trans women, which is why I keep saying that. Of course, I stand for all LGBTQIA, and I stand in solidarity, and that certainly includes trans men and non-binary. But it's trans women that are under attack under the pretense that the great white knights from the whiteness of Trump and Ellen are going to protect women by banishing trans women, and so here we are, trans women. Well, my fellow passengers suggested that I use the John in the plane rather than risk arrest peeing in the airport's facilities because it is a federal facility, and so I did, and here I am. And here we are in Clownigulo's America. Now, Musk has also compromised the computers this weekend at the Treasury Department. How they talk their way into that, I'm not sure. I guess loudly, impressively, with firearms. Anyway, so the intended result is, of course, that the entire federal payment system is in crisis and the result is compromised. And stock markets and banks will collapse in panic worldwide in a few hours. Remember that. Remember that a trans woman warned you of that. If you're old enough, remember that I warned you last time. Oh, yes, I did, on KBOO radio on a program called Press Watch. And I'll say it again. If you need cash out of the ATM, go and get it. But I don't want to leave you with bad news, so consider this. Protesters blocked Highway 101 for 5 hours, protesting planned mass deportations. And on Blue Sky, there are efforts for mass demonstrations on February 5th, Wednesday, I think. So that'll wrap it up for the news you're not supposed to know. And I hope that you're having a good Sunday night. I'm sorry I ruined it. And, we're just going to have to look after each other. And there are various ways of doing that. And maybe we'll address that on our regular Friday program, Honey and I. And until then, our love goes out to you as always, to you and to all the ships at sea. Goodbye. In stream.